Well, Eskom says it's making good progress in meeting timelines to unbundle the company by the end of next year. But CEO Andre de Ruyter says there's still a lot of work to do before the process is done and dusted. The embattled utility says it's also making headway in its recovery plan following years of corruption and mismanagement. The executive has been briefing Parliament on the latest this afternoon. Lindsay Dentlinger following that briefing for us. She joins us now live via Skype. So Lindsay, a mammoth task to unbundle the power utility. What progress has been made so far?
Shahan, Andre de Ruyter says a lot of internal progress has already been made. The three companies each have their own managing directors. There are boards that have been appointed for each of them. They've each had at least 2 meetings already, and we've seen some 9,000 staff within Eskom have already been split up among the entities, 6,000 of those at the head office. They've also been able to draw up some financial statements, some income statement, cash flow statement. So the process is, the ball is rolling. Andre de Ruyter saying they're trying to keep costs down as much as possible. So they are still continuing to use centralized, for example, IT systems and finance systems because it doesn't want to waste any money in this unbundling exercise. But let's take a listen to what he told the two committees on public enterprises in Parliament this afternoon.
We have, I think, by and large met the timelines. Some of the timelines in the roadmap with respect to the minister have been quite aggressive. We have targeted some slightly relaxed timelines, but we are managing this very closely and ensuring that we will be able to achieve the Eskom timelines as set out there. An update on specific deliverables that we had to complete by the end of our financial year, which was the 31st of March 20. We have set up the divisional financial reporting. We have completed our organizational design. We have put in place power purchase agreements and electricity supply agreements. So we are internally trading energy within Eskom.
So, Lindsay, we know Eskom has R500 million in debt. Any ideas yet as to how it plans to deal with it in the unbundling?
So, Shahan, that's the big elephant in the room. Besides the what it's going to take to legally separate the entity under de Ruyter and Minister Pravin Gordhan saying that's really the big complex issue. Even once the entities are unbundled, how do they deal with this legally? Is this debt? And the minister saying, pleading for patience, really, from MPs this afternoon, saying right now there aren't any answers. So let's just take a listen to what he had to say in his own words.
We cannot say that we have a debt solution. Various options have been floated in the marketplace, and as soon as we settle down on some of the COVID-related issues as government, we'll begin to give attention to what's the best direction to take in relation to the debt issue. So I ask honourable members to give us a bit of time and exercise a bit of patience in that particular regard.
And I guess many South Africans will be wondering about this. With the economy opening up again, how prepared is Eskom?
Well, the chairperson of the board, Professor Makgoba, saying 78 days without load shedding. That's where Eskom's standing right now. And while MPs weren't impressed by that, they said this is how Eskom should be operating anyway. The chairperson of the board saying it wasn't to score any brownie points, but rather to give the South African public confidence in the power utility. As they've said previously in the recent weeks, they're putting down load shedding. If it should come down to that, to a maximum of 3 days under stage 1, but making good use of the lockdown period, saying they've now been able to conduct maintenance ahead of schedule that opens up additional capacity for the economy once it all gets back to normal. But Andre de Ruyter, as always, saying the grid remains unstable and unpredictable, and should it come down to load shedding, it will probably be between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. sometime in the winter months.
Jeez, I can never get used to hearing that. We'll leave it right there. Lindsay Dentlinger is in Cape Town.